Look, um, all the people that know me, you know two things, or you should know two things about me. Number one, I love you. Even if you're a pain in the butt to me sometimes, even if you respond to my messages with stupid memes or laughter emojis or whatever, I still love you. The second thing that you should know about me if you actually know me is that I'm honest. What you may not know is that in my life, I have had the great misfortune to deal with scammers, con artists, pathological liars, habitual liars, and so on. I have been scammed. I have been lied to. I have lost money. And the good thing about those bad experiences is I learned about that kind of a person, about a person who will throw away a friendship for a bit of money, a person who will say, oh, this, and then do that, or just a stranger, too. People who will pretend to be a woman that you're interested in when they're really a 200-pound guy sitting somewhere in an apartment in a different country from his origin, and he's just in his underwear and he's scamming person after person after person. I mean, I have debunked scams. They're on my YouTube channel, on my tech channel, the PC Expert Amateur. And when people contact me on LinkedIn or on Facebook or email or text message or phone call, most of the time within the first, I would say, I'll be conservative here. I'll say within the first 2 minutes, I know it's a scam. Sometimes I know in the first 5 seconds. And that's because of robocallers. So I don't really count that. But usually when somebody approaches me, there are always signs. So I can't say that I'm always good at catching these people immediately or soon enough to avoid suffering the consequences, because indeed some people are very, very talented at being deceptive. But the thing of it is that over time, as you get to know somebody, the ones who are playing you, the ones who are manipulating you or tricking you, there are signs. And if you just keep a little bit of a defensiveness, not like, like something that's going to be overt to the person, but just be on your guard, you will eventually discover it. And this could be your lover, your best friend. It could be a coworker. It could be your boss. It could be somebody on the bus or train or airplane. It could be somebody at a restaurant. It could be somebody on the street. So I'm not saying that I'm some kind of like mind reader or that I'm great at reading body language or anything like that. And frankly, I have some skepticism when it comes to people who claim to be able to read body language. I know that there is some science to it, but some of it's guesswork. So, anyways, I'm telling you this for later in this video. The first thing I want to talk to you about is Cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not referring to NFTs right now. They're a scam, and they're probably they're such a stupid scam. You're not getting a picture or a video. You're getting a link to it. You're getting a link to where that thing should be. But that thing that you think you're getting, that picture or video, can be removed at any time, and you have lost nothing because you didn't buy it. And many, many other people have bought a link to that thing too. But it's a URI. It's kind of like a URL, an address, but it's specific to an image. And there can be many of them, thousands of them. Everybody's getting to look at the same picture by buying an exclusive, unique URI. But that's such... And I've warned people about this before. Buying NFTs is stupid for so many reasons. But I want to talk about a specific type of cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrencies are high risk. There is very little regulation of them, if any. The specific type I'm talking about is what's called a meme coin. Now, a meme is an idea, behavior, or style that spreads by means of imitation from person to person within a culture and often carries symbolic meanings representing something particular. So what is a meme coin? Well, a meme coin is, it takes a meme of some kind and makes use of it to add value, or interest is sparked because it's associated, however ephemerally, to a meme. A meme coin is a type of cryptocurrency that is inspired by internet memes, jokes, or cultural trends, and often lacks intrinsic or real value. It's kind of like fiat currency. Our money is fiat currency. It has no intrinsic value except for the value of the material it's printed on and the process that takes place to make it. These coins are typically characterized by their volatile nature and are driven by community sentiment, social media hype, and celebrity endorsements, also known as influencers trying to sell you a meme coin or cryptocurrency or NFTs because they're in on it. And when they do what's called a rug pull, which is where they take the money and run, you're left with nothing except for worthless cryptocurrency. So, another term that is used for a meme coin is shitcoin. Yes, that should tell you everything you need to know about whether or not you should buy meme coins. But let me dive a little bit deeper. And I'm not going to give myself credit for all this because I learned from watching CoffeeZilla, also known as Voidzilla. He's the primary person that, on YouTube at least, that has educated me about a lot of this stuff. And I'm very grateful for him being there and the people that he works with and help and then teams up with and stuff. Okay, some famous meme coins, Dogecoin or Doggy Coin is an early one. And then there's Melania Coin and Trump Coin, Shiba Inu, and so many, many more. In Argentina, they launched one called Libra. So the problem with crypto coins, and especially meme coins, is meme coins are typically made, and oftentimes cryptocurrency in general is typically made with the goal of either a short-term con or a long-term con. Now, a short-term con is something that concludes within minutes or hours or days or weeks sometimes. So, say for example, you bought some coins, regular cryptocurrency or meme coin, and within 3 weeks, the value had collapsed because it went like and then that would be a short-term con. Now, let's say instead you bought into that medical business. Maybe you've heard of her, Elizabeth Holmes. She was the CEO of Theranos. Yeah. She ran what was called a long-term con. Long-term cons can go for years, decades sometimes. Typically, they eventually either get caught, like Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX, or Elizabeth Holmes. But some of them manage to get away with all the money. And some of them just pretend over and over again, I'm a victim too. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, there's two brothers who are prominent sports figures who have been involved in multiple scams where they claim, it wasn't me, it was somebody else. But anyways, so meme coins are a form of a con and gambling, which really gambling is a con. It just depends on how unethically the gambler who's running it does things. So I want you to keep that in mind as you think about meme coins. Meme coins often come and go in the space of hours. Some of them, like Dogecoin or Dogecoin, started out as a joke, and then they just got so popular and adopted by the public that they didn't ever stop. Now, if you go to a place like Pump Fun, and I've never been there, but I've heard about it. Pump Fun is a place where people will launch a meme coin, get everybody pumped up about it so that everybody buys in, and then usually the owners have a lot of that coin, and then they'll suddenly sell it. And then the price, which has been pumped up by all those people buying in, will suddenly drop drastically. And those people who know the timing of when the owner of the majority of the coins is going to sell get out early when it's still high, and everybody else is left with little to nothing. It's gambling. And if you are not in the inside circle or the inner circle, you don't know when it's going to fail. And therefore, if you actually come out with a lot of money, it was sheer luck, just chance. Now, people can get addicted to that, trying to figure out, when are they going to sell? When are they going to sell? When are they going to dump? It's called pump and dump. And as far as I know, within the stock market, pumping and dumping is illegal. But there are people who do it, and also in meme coins. So most meme coins are pumped and then they're dumped. So they get a lot of people very, very interested in it, and so they buy, and then at the height of when the price gets high enough, the majority owner who has pumped it all along with some Confederates who are seemingly independent of the owner, will all sell at that high price, causing it to collapse. And there are some tragic stories where people will not, depending on who was promoting it, they will not want to sell, even as the value just keeps on sliding further and further down. And they hold on to this mistaken belief that the person that gave them indirectly, usually, the faith to buy in will suddenly miraculously ride in and save everybody by reinvesting all of their money. And I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but there it was a very prominent businessman who invested very heavily in one of those things, and he eventually sold out, and prices plummeted, and people held on to the very. And then when the owners said that they were going to, I guess you could say, devalue the remaining coins so that there wasn't going to be any value to it, people still held on thinking, oh, at the last minute, he's going to come and he's going to save us. And these people lost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands sometimes. And there were people within that community who were deliberately egging them on, encouraging them to believe this stuff. They were falsely stating that they had the inside track, that they knew that really that guy was waiting for the right moment and he was going to buy back in and everyone was going to be saved. And what really was happening was this guy and his friends were also owners, but in a different sense. We're just trying to keep it and maybe build it up and then get out. But what they were doing that was even worse than repumping something that was dead was they were getting people to donate to them. They were constantly scamming all these loyal coin holders. And it was just, I watched a documentary on it, and it was just so sad to see these people in a state of denial for years, even as the deadline for getting out of the coin was approaching, even down to the last minutes, even after the coin was dead. They continued to rally to it. They continued to hold on to it. They continued to have conspiracy theories about how everything was going to be okay. And it wasn't. So the interesting thing about cryptocurrency is most people don't know how to trace the transactions on the blockchain. It is not exactly easy. And there are websites that are designed, and I think tools also, like for your phone or whatever, but primarily websites that are designed to money launder crypto. So you could buy or sell, put your money somewhere, and then redisperse it. Redisperse it to multiple other accounts that you also own. They could be under different names. They could be not publicly known to be yours. And then thus cash out. Because if you have a large sum of money, it's very, very obvious if you cash out or if you convert it into, say, US dollars. It's also very obvious if the money suddenly appears in your account. So by breaking it up and then sending it out from that website from different accounts to different other accounts, and then secretly, quietly collecting on all of those accounts, makes it hard for investigators to determine where the money went after it went through that laundering site. And that makes it really hard. And that also makes it a great, great way, not just for these people who take advantage of meme coins and cryptocurrency and NFTs and really the people who invest in them foolishly, but also it can be used by criminal organizations for money laundering, for paying transactions. So crypto is often used by criminals to pay other criminals for their products and services. And criminals will often blackmail people and get their money in the form of crypto. So it's this. There's a very large, I guess you could say, underground kind of system that helps to support criminal activity within blockchain. Was blockchain was it designed for criminals? I cannot say. I can speculate that probably, but the stated reason to the public was to decentralize, to make it more secure, and to kind of fight the corruption of governments and businesses. All just marketing hype to get people to believe in something that's got no more value than fiat currency and nothing tangible, which is ironic. It's hard to sell insurance sometimes because there's nothing tangible. But people know that eventually, if all goes well, they'll get the payout, or their survivors will get the payout. But with crypto and NFTs and the meme coins especially, there is nothing tangible. There's no guarantees. People will write white papers. They will write all the rules. They'll say all the right things. But in their hearts, they are going to scam. And meme coins are a primary way of insiders ripping off everybody else. It's also a great way for people who want to contribute to a political figure without other people knowing it. They can buy somebody's meme or cryptocurrency or NFT, for example. And if they're clever about how they do it, nobody will be able to easily, and maybe not at all, trace it back to that donor. So let's say, for example, I become a famous YouTuber. Yeah. But let's just, fantasy world here, okay? I become a famous YouTuber, and because I'm a tech guy, and I have a tech channel, one of the big companies in tech wants to use me to promote their products. And they say, look, here's what we want you to say. Some of the stuff, it's kind of questionable whether it's actually going to happen or not. We're not entirely sure, but we want you to present this as if it's 100% solid fact. And we want you to also accept this very large gift. And they send me a huge amount of, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum or something. And then I get on my channel, having been bribed, and I tell everybody, oh, you need to get this, you need to buy this. And people start buying it, and it turns out to be crap. Well, I look bad, right? However, I'm rich because they paid me. On top of that, there is this phenomenon amongst people who have invested into something where they live in a state of denial about anything that, and anyone that disproves their faith in that. That anything that calls into question what it is they have invested in, they will just, la, 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 not true, I don't believe you. It could be that their spouse or lover is cheating on them. It could be that the person that's going to sell them the house isn't actually the owner of the house. It could be a lot of things. But in the end, there are so many ways to abuse people by selling cryptocurrency and NFTs, and especially the meme coins, because, generally speaking, meme coins are designed as a short-term con, and the people on the inside have everything planned out on how they're going to make themselves rich. So they'll wait. They'll have a certain amount of the coins set aside for them. Some they'll hold. Some will be in a public pool. Some will be in another kind of pool. And no matter what they've told the public, if they're intent on getting rich, they'll take from any pool, even the pools that they're not supposed to be able to touch. And when the money, the value that is, gets really, really high, they suddenly sell it all. But not only that, because they also use snipers, which are snipe bots. It's software that is designed to buy at critical junctures and sell at critical junctures. So if you're sniping a meme coin, you know when it's going to start selling, so you can buy it at the lowest price, and you know the contract address. You have all the details because you are part of the inner circle. So you get in at the very bottom, and then when the signal is given, all right, we need to dump, everybody sells at the same time. The price plummets down to lower than what it had been at the start, and you walk away with millions, and everybody else has lost everything they put in. So this is obviously really bad, but it gets worse. You see, last year there was a very famous man, and not just last year, but in previous years, there was a famous man who was repeatedly saying how stupid it is to buy crypto, how stupid an investment it is, and that nobody should do it, and he absolutely did not support it. But then he changed his mind. Not only did he change his mind, he got rid of investigators who might be able to suss out if he and other people did anything wrong. He's very rich, very powerful. And then he also, simultaneous to all of these efforts to make it easier for him to take advantage of this industry, I guess you could call it, he created his own meme coins. He made 2 meme coins. And there was sniping and all kinds of crazy stuff. In fact, on the day that our president's inauguration took place, these 2 coins were combined were worth $9.5 billion. Yeah. Now, one of the coins is currently at $1.25. And that's because it was a meme coin. The other one at this time is down to $16.79. So there is some speculation as to why this person flipped from being anti to pro crypto. And if you think about it, if you have somebody who's very, very ethical, they would never do this. They would never involve themselves directly or indirectly in a meme coin because it demonstrates their lack of morality, their lack of ethics, their lack of concern for the average person who, with faith in the meme, or in this case, the memes that that guy selected, they're going to put in more money than they should have, and they will lose that money. Almost guaranteed, unless they're an insider. So, what's the difference between the first coin and the second coin. Well, the first coin is the one that's 16.71.9, and the second coin is the one that's $1.75. I think I said. This one was never going to last. This one is, how shall I say this? The one that still has good value. I think that it would be hard for this man to let it collapse unless he had a really good reason, like it was exit time. So my belief is he will run the long con on this one, and whatever happens to the other one, he's not worried about it. Either way, he's going to win. If the other one goes back up in price again, so much the better for him. If it doesn't, he's still got his main one. But it also, because he has some shady connections, shall we say, it also gives people who want to donate or give money to him without everyone knowing, it gives them the opportunity to do that. He doesn't have to disclose who that money came from that was invested into the coins. He doesn't have to say anything. And unless somebody takes it upon themselves to investigate and try to figure out where that money came from, it will always remain a secret. Now, unfortunately, in this particular case, this man is so rich and so powerful that the chances are very, very high that he'll get away with it. And in fact, this man is a con artist. This man is a serial adulterer. He's a serial sexual abuser. He is a serial con artist, a serial slumlord, a serial racist. I don't think he's a pathological liar. He doesn't exhibit some of the but he could be. It's hard to say for sure if he's a pathological liar or if he's just a bad habitual liar. But either way, he lies a lot. And like some of the things he says are just so ridiculous. You have to be totally brainwashed to believe him. And unfortunately, a lot of people are totally brainwashed by this guy. And it's very sad because people are getting screwed left, right, and center because he doesn't care. Because, of course, at the end of the day, if everything else doesn't go well for him, he still has those 2 meme coins. He can dump it all and he'll be rich again. And that's the sad part of it. Now, just the other day, he was being interviewed about Ukraine and Putin, and they asked him about that. And so he made this comment, and as soon as he said it, I knew he was lying because it was so improbable. It was so unbelievable. It's like when you hear that a dictator got 99% of all the votes. You know the election was rigged, whether it was Putin or Gaddafi or Saddam or Kim or somebody else. It was rigged. There's no way they got 99% of the votes. Just not possible. So this man, when asked, he stated that Zelensky had an approval rating of 4%. I was like, what? But the sad thing of it is that this man, having said it, having brainwashed so many people, they'll believe the lie. They won't bother to research, because I've actually seen people being interviewed saying, yeah, he told us that we should always check his facts, but I don't need to do that. I know he's right. They literally have been told to fact check, and they won't fact check because they have decided to blindly trust this con artist. So if you look at the facts as of this month, which is February, Zelensky's approval rating has gone up from 54%, not 4%, 54% to 57%. I believe it was in December that he was at 54%. And this is from multiple sources. And this is just one tiny example. Just one tiny example of why this man can't be trusted. Because, see, this man has a very close relationship with Putin. He doesn't want Ukraine to benefit. He wants to help Putin because Putin has helped him. Some very, very rich Russians who are friends of Putin have invested in Trump properties and Trump businesses, and who knows, maybe in other things as well. So this man doesn't want to help Zelensky. He's playing Zelensky. And he'll benefit from it. And Zelensky will not. Just in my opinion, Donald Trump is a criminal who makes Richard Nixon look like an angel. In my opinion, and this is based on a lot of documented facts, on a lot of lies that he has told that are provably false, he is using the Christian voting base to enrich himself and empower himself even further, and to hide from legal cases against him. And he doesn't care what he does so long as he comes out on top. Now, do I think he'll tank America? Not unless he has an exit strategy. And a lot of people think that Donald's stupid. I don't think he's stupid. I think he's very shrewd and unethical. I think that he knows how to manipulate people. He would be the world's greatest car salesman. He could sell a sports car enthusiast a Yugo. Burned out Yugo. He's very clever at manipulating emotions and using the emotions of the person he's talking to get that person on his side to take advantage of. He is, I believe, at the very least, a narcissist. Some people call him a malevolent narcissist. Yeah, I believe he's malevolent. I believe that if things go wrong, he will formulate, if he hasn't already, an exit strategy, and he will hopefully not behave in the way that a psychopath would, which would be to cause as much damage as possible on his way out. So there it is. This has all been leading up because every day, yes, I have actually seen some good things. Trump wants to get rid of the penny. It costs us almost 4 cents a penny to make a penny. So it's stupid to keep making pennies, at least with the current metal that's being used. And he supports in vitro fertilization. And there are a lot of people that's their only option. And it is stupid for Christians to think there's something wrong with in vitro fertilization, because here's the thing. If you are a Christian or whatever religion and you believe that as soon as the sperm gets into the egg, and that was unintentional kind of, I didn't mean like that. I meant like this is the egg and this is the sperm going into it, okay? As soon as the sperm goes into the egg, they believe the baby has a soul. Well, whatever. You want to believe that? You have no proof. I have no proof that you're wrong. You have no proof that you're right. It's all opinion. But the problem is whether it's in the womb or in a test tube, it's still going to happen. Because you don't get to say where it does and doesn't happen. Only God gets to say that. And there's nowhere that God said that. So, shut your mouth because you don't know what you're talking about. And you're assuming, for whatever wacko reasons, that there's something wrong with IVF. And there's not. The baby will have a soul. How do I know this? Because I've met people who are IVFs. And they have souls. Can I see a soul? No. Can you? No. But obviously they're there, they're alive. So based on your mythos, they have a soul. Because without a soul, you can't function, according to most religions. So Donald has done some things that are good. But when I was talking before about the inspectors that he got rid of, those were the watchdogs of the federal government. They are federally employed, but they are independent inspector generals looking for fraud. He got rid of the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is, in the 20 years or so since it was created, has returned over $20 billion directly to consumers who were defrauded by financial institutions. He fired the inspector generals. He fired the director of the CFPB, and other agencies between him and Musk have been gutted, including the agencies responsible for 32 investigations of Musk and his businesses. They've been gutted. So all of those investigations have stalled. And oh, by the way, when Musk comes out having investigated for however many days it's been and says, I found all this fraud, he would have to have a massive team of experts, in not just in accounting, but in fraud detection and so on, to uncover the traces of fraud before actually being able to do anything. And when he was in the White House standing next to Trump with and he had his little boy with him, who had that big silver chain going across his chest and was wearing that nice beige coat. When he was talking about all the fraud and waste he's uncovered, there's no way he uncovered all that in such a short amount of time. It's just not possible. It takes a long time for that kind of an investigation to be completed. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, woman power, people power. And then when Trump reminded him about the woman with $30 million, where's the proof? Where's the indictment from the Department of Justice against that woman? Why didn't they name the woman? If she has been officially indicted, they can name her. Why such a secret? Why is there all this stuff being broadcast, like, oh, Social Security income is being stolen. It's been going on for decades. I remember decades ago when they were reporting in the news about that problem. Same thing with taxes. Foreigners electronically filing tax returns. That's been ongoing for a long time, and that is not government fraud. That is citizens defrauding the government, American citizens and foreign citizens. It's not the kind of fraud he was sent in there to look for. He was sent in there to look for government fraud and waste. And yet, no proof. And yet, he points at things that are well known for anybody who's been paying attention and says, look what I found. Oh, I'm so special. Look, Musk, Trump, peas in a pod. I recognize the science, and a lot of other people do too. And if you don't agree with me, if you think I'm wrong, I really don't care. Just don't screw me over while you're screwing yourself over. Because you're either one of two kinds of people. You are either somebody who's naive and has been fooled by them, and you're going to get screwed over eventually. Or you're in on it, and you're going to take a piece of the pie. Black and white, that's how I see it. You're either a fool or a criminal. There is no in between. Some of you are fools now and will become criminals rather than walking away and losing everything. And some of you will walk away because you have integrity, you have honor, you have respect, you have concern about your fellow citizens. And the rest of you, well, I have some land in Baja, Mexico I can sell you. Think very, very carefully. Listen very, very carefully. Keep your mind open. Stop closing your mind. I know you have been trained from a small child. Blind faith, blind faith, blind faith. Blind faith is for religions. It's not for a con artist. You're not supposed to blindly trust a con artist. You're not supposed to be blindly loyal to anybody. Being blind, metaphorically, means that you do not pay attention to anything that sheds doubt, or causes doubt, I should say, about that person, about that company. This blindness is so dangerous. And when it revolves around somebody who, in certain people's addled minds, think he's a prophet, it is super dangerous, because that is called a cult of personality. That's what North Korea has. Do you want America to be like North Korea? That's what Russia has. Do you want America to be like Russia? That's what China has, and other countries as well. Do you want this to be a dictatorship, or do you want us to have our democracy? Our United States of America. You have complained about the rich ripping us off over and over again, and then you put one of the richest men in the world in office with the richest man in the world next to him in an unelected position where he has unprecedented power to do things that are constitutionally and federally illegal. And you say, oh, it's okay. He's qualified. He's really smart. Yeah, he's really smart at ripping us off. And there's no reason for him to have access to the Treasury information. You know what that is, right? Do you know what kind of sensitive information they have about you? Like, your bank account information. So they could drain your bank account. They could take your identity away from you, steal it completely, and then destroy you financially. You can either wake up or live in your little fantasy world. He's not my president. I never agreed for Musk to be in the White House committing crime after crime after crime under the gaze of his criminal overlord, Trump. And you shouldn't either. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.